Hey gun enthusiasts, I have with me today a couple of Beretta APX 9mm. There they are. And I just want to do a very quick tutorial on how to take them down and field strip them, because I do get questions, because these are different from your Glocks and your SIGs, and for whatever reason Beretta likes to make it a little bit complicated. So real quickly, what you have on the Beretta APX is a takedown lever that's right here. But it's more than just dropping that takedown lever. The way that I do it, which is a little bit different than I think some people do it, but here's what I do. When you have a gun that you're going to field strip, the first thing you want to do, I have a magazine in this gun. I've checked it to make sure that it's not loaded, but there's still a magazine in it. I'm going to slide the slide all the way to the back. It's going to lock back because of the magazine. I'm going to check to make sure that it's unloaded again. Then I'm going to drop the magazine. I'm going to check to make sure that it's unloaded one more time. Then I'm going to send the slide home, like so, and I'm going to point the gun in a safe direction and pull the trigger. And on the Beretta, you will see that when you pull your trigger, you have this little internal safety bar that comes up every time you pull the trigger after the firing pin has been released. So what you want to do is pull your trigger, and I'm going to use my left hand, pull the trigger. This little pin is going to come up. Then come over here to your pin release button, which is right here. I'm just using a mechanical pencil. And while the trigger remains pulled, I just flipped you all off. Press this button until that pin drops. Okay? Now the pin is dropped. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to cycle the slide. So I have the gun is cocked. I'm going to point it in a safe direction. I'm going to pull the trigger. You'll see that pin right there came up, and it comes up when you pull the trigger. Using my left hand, I'm going to pull the trigger, hold the trigger back so that pin stays up. Let's see if I can do this so that you can watch that pin drop. There's a little button right here. It's recessed, it's flush. You actually have to push it back into the frame. I'm going to press it, and that pin drops. Now, when that pin is dropped, your trigger will not return home. It won't come back forward. It stays in the back position. So at this point, what I'm going to do becomes very similar to a lot of other guns at this point that have this takedown lever. I'm going to take the tension off the slide just a little bit, only I'm going to press this slide, takedown slide button on this side. Pressure off a little bit. I'm going to press it firmly. I'm going to, once it presses in, I'm going to drop my takedown bar like that. Slide comes off. Set my frame down, and you can see in here, as with most striker-fired pistols, you have your guide rod and your spring, which Beretta always makes the messy-looking springs, but they work good. They're stiff. This is a new gun, and there you have it. You can pull your guide rod and spring out. You can take your barrel out, just like you would almost all other striker-fired guns. Barrel goes back in. Guide rod goes in. Small side to the front. It's the only way it'll really fit. Lock your back in. And then the Beretta has these long slide rails on the frame. They're quite long. We're going to put our slide forward, feed them onto those guide rails, actuate it all the way back, gently bring it home, return our takedown lever to its proper position, and there we have it. Quick field strip on a Beretta APX 9mm.